Right now, the global AI arms race is moving at breakneck speed. Billions of dollars in capital are pouring into new infrastructure, pushing server farms and compute power to their absolute limits. We saw the internal logic of this race when a memo from OpenAI's chief revenue officer leaked on a Sunday. The directive was clear: build an insurmountable corporate moat by locking in enterprise users as quickly as possible. Pressure is mounting from the rapid rise of competitors like Anthropic. Their annualized revenue jumped by hundreds of millions in just 4 months, fueling a platform war for control over the future of enterprise intelligence. Analysts and tech media focused on the corporate horse race, the compute pipelines and the subscriber counts. But this focus ignores the actual substance of the multi-trillion-dollar moat they are trying to build. The AI industry faces a specific systemic danger: the hidden, unstable foundation beneath this corporate race. To understand the scale of the risk, picture an inverted pyramid. A projected $16 trillion market is balancing on an impossibly narrow tip. Today's models are trained on ghosts of the internet, scraped clickstreams, social media, and the digital exhaust of a fragmented society. These data traces are symptoms of a system in distress. A household squeezed between income and survival leaves a trail. An unpaid caregiver or a watershed pushed past its tipping point often leaves none that a scraper can capture. Scraping these traces reduces real-world crises, like resource depletion or household debt, to statistical tokens optimized for prediction. By training models purely on these fragmented symptoms, the tech industry builds its ultimate intelligence on an actively collapsing economic foundation. Human communities build trust through face-to-face interaction, but the global economy operates at a scale beyond that intimacy. Today, 195 nations are captured by the infrastructure and ledgers of just 25 mega companies. These entities rely on extraction AI. They optimize their internal operations within isolated ledgers, hoarding data while remaining completely disconnected from the reality of the ledgers next to them. This isolation creates a lethal blind spot. A margin squeeze or a mass layoff appears as a revenue gain in one silo, even as the resulting collapse of a supplier or a household spiderwebs across the shared foundation of every other silo. These 25 companies currently possess no mechanism to witness these cross-ledger impacts. They drive efficiency at the top of the chain while remaining blind to the resulting vulnerability at the bottom. Corporate blindness has become a systemic risk. Hyper-efficiency at action creates an invisible, accelerating path toward total foundation failure. Corporations forecast the strength of their moats using customer lifetime value. This metric assumes the customer base is stable and the foundation is infinite. This diagram reveals the flaw in that logic. Customer lifetime value is entirely downstream of human survival. When the living-to-income gauge hits the survival threshold, the revenue line instantly flatlines. A household that cannot pay, or a supplier that goes bankrupt, ends the corporate moat immediately. This is a collapse of the base, not a loss to a competitor. Witnessing AI offers an alternative. Instead of scraping inferred data, this architecture anchors to point-of-origin verified truth, like a watershed reporting its actual carrying capacity, or a caregiver accounting for their hours. A corporation that ignores the survival threshold of its stakeholders is mathematically miscalculating its own lifespan. Fixing a scale problem involving 25 global giants requires more than just a framework. Frameworks live inside single companies and can only recommend. Protocols live between entities and execute shared truth across 195 nations. This architecture addresses the original missing layer of the World Wide Web. Tim Berners-Lee connected information, but without a protocol to share value or protect sovereignty, the web devolved into a surveillance economy. The sovereignty engine functions as a coordination layer sitting underneath existing AI labs. It provides the protocol necessary to anchor these powerful models to the point-of-origin truths they are currently scraping and fragmenting. This protocol executes by ensuring data never leaves its source. By querying point-of-origin truth, the engine identifies exactly where the economy is already spending resources and redirects them to bridge the gap between household survival and income. True global scale requires a neutral protocol to coordinate shared reality. Recomposition happens when we stop optimizing extraction and start closing the circuit between needs and resources. The shift to a witnessing protocol unlocks $590 trillion in trapped global capital. This is not a projected growth number. It is the recomposition of capital currently lost to bad debt, burnout, and deferred maintenance. The current leaders of the AI race are brilliant engineers, but they are building on a broken architecture. Their multi-billion-dollar valuations assume the extraction can continue forever. Real victory in the AI market requires creating a system where every stakeholder is whole. This architecture makes extraction mathematically impossible by design. A multi-trillion-dollar AI moat built on the extraction of a failing system is just a giant wall built around an empty castle. The race is on, but the foundation is what matters.